Are we live? Of course we are live. We don't still need an intro. Let's just get fucking straight into it, people. Welcome back to the channel. It's been a minute. Winner settings. Only winners on this pod tonight. Only winners. We don't know where Master P is. Wherever he is, we know he's probably still in Stamford Bridge right now. Ahmad will be joining us. Aslam did say he's still on his way home, so he won't be able to make it. Dylan is
from Turkey, on his way from Turkey, from Galatasaray.
The man did say evenings, yeah, Gav. So at least the evenings, okay. At least had some manners, you know. But nonetheless, winner settings. Governor, how you doing, my bro?
I'm good, thanks. I'm very, very good, Dave. Happy to be here this evening. I'm looking forward to, it's International Week, so it gives us a chance to have a good chat about footy.
Yeah, no, say no more. There's a lot that we need to discuss. I want to discuss Barcelona with Ahmad when he drops in. He's finishing work at 8. But yeah, people, you know what to do. Like, share, subscribe, do all that great stuff. Leave your comments in the comment section. We put up every comment and any topics of discussion that you wish to leave it on. And let's have a good chat tonight, people. And please look out for my interview with Ronaldo Lena. It's a very insightful interview. It will be dropping later tonight. I've literally just done the final touches on that video. So as soon as this video is done, it will redirect you to that video once it eventually goes up. But, Gav, where do we start?
Yes, sir.
Liverpool, Chelsea. I think that's only one place to start, eh?
Yeah, look, honestly speaking, Dave, I'm not going to say Liverpool is in a blip, to be honest with you. If they are in a blip, it's been over a year. Look, a full season, they won the Premier League convincingly. They stumbled in the Carabao Cup. They got knocked out of the Champions League. At one stage last year, they were fighting on 4 fronts for 4 trophies. They ended up winning 1 trophy, which is probably, I would say, could be the main one. For some people, the Premier League is more than the Champions League. And for some people, obviously, the Champions League means more than the Premier League. So, I'll say they're both equivalent to, depending on what your club's culture is and what your ambitions are. So I think, where they find themselves at the moment, it's too early to say the wheels are falling off. It's way too early. I always say that there's 18 other clubs that will love to swap positions with Liverpool, to be in second place. So, I think that the glaring things that is sort of their downfall at the moment, these things that we've discussed on the spot before, was the lack of reinforcements defensively. You remember when Ty was on the show? I think we had a full house that night, and we spoke about the potential top 6. The recruitment for the season, and I know Ty and I went into a heavy debate about Arsenal, and lo and behold, it was a week later where Arsenal.
I want to touch on that actually, which is why I highlighted it on the screen. Actually, big up Aslam.
Yeah, so Arsenal then a week later just reinforced their recruitment, strengthened their squad. Where I still think, the end of the transfer window, probably one of the best transfer windows Arsenal have had in a long time. One of the best squads Arsenal have had in a very long time. And I remember that night we spoke about, at the time, Diaz wasn't sold yet. I remember when you asked me my prediction, and I said, and you guys said no ifs, buts. So maybe I said, if they hold on to Diaz and they sign Isak, Liverpool are out and out favourites to win the Premier League. If they don't hold on to Diaz, I think that the attack is weakened this season as opposed to.
This woman is out in a karaoke with her sister, and she's still watching a pod. Thanks, bro.
Yeah. So remember I said that if they don't sign Diaz, if they sell Diaz and they don't sign Isak, or if they sign Isak and they sell Diaz, I think Liverpool's attack is weakened because you then sold Nunes. You've unfortunately lost Jota and Diaz, Nunes, and Jota's gone. That's three. Who'd you bring in? Ekiteke. At the time, Isak, it was hanging in the balance whether he was going to come, and Florian Wirtz. And I still say that I don't think that is suitable replacement for the three that they've lost. And I think right now, no one expected Salah to be underperforming the way he is. And I think we expected a whole lot more from. I don't think you can ask much more from Ekitike, to be honest with you. I think he's really come and put his hand up, to make that number 9 position his own. I also just think there's too much expectations on Wirtz. I think people expected him to be a replacement for, let's say he was Diaz as a replacement. It's not the same player. It's not the same type of player. It's not the same style of play. He was never a 20 goal a season player. He's more of a creator. And a player like that takes time to adjust to the league. Again, I'm not saying Simmons and Wirtz is the same, of the same quality or level of player, but both teams have signed them to do similar jobs, creativity. Xavi Simmons hasn't set the world alight at Spurs. You can see he's getting used to the physicality of the Premier League. And I think Wirtz is getting used to the speed of the Premier League. I think there's too many people out there judging them at the moment. Same as people are judging Sesko. Sesko's a different story, though. He's coming into a team with a very bad aura hanging around him. So I think it's too early to judge him. But I think, just not to go off track, but Liverpool, their defense is the main thing that we spoke about that night. The lack of reinforcements defensively, and it's showing.
Yeah, no, look, big up, Amar. Welcome, my brother. You're like literally right on time. I must admit, for the first time in history, we started this stream pod earlier.
I was surprised we were live already. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make it just in time because we're normally a few minutes late.
Me and Brent thought, fuck the intro, fuck everything. Let's just start everything.
Go raw.
Let's start early. No, look, I concur. I agree with you. It is very much early to say, but look, you can take the banter aside and whatever. I know all of a sudden people are making Arsenal favorites. I don't buy that. There's a reason why. I will say I'll touch on that later when we come into the Arsenal segment of the show. But if you look at it, I agree with everything you said in terms of losing Trent is massive because that affects Salah in terms of that over-the-top ball, number one.
100%.
Then if you look at Kerkez already, that's another one. Also, I still think, personally for me, I don't know how Aslam feels. I would have rather maybe phased one of the fullbacks in, maybe started Robbo for the beginning and then phased.
I was also surprised that Robbo just completely dropped from the squad.
Yeah, so because you know what it does? It unsettles because look at it like this. Virgil van Dijk is literally carrying the whole backline right now as we speak. Because that is 2 wing backs already, and Konate is fucking stinking out the place. There's no, let's make 2 maybe about that. So I think it's a bit harsh, even as you can see in the thumbnail with the whole memes of Van Dijk playing cricket and all of that shit. But anyway, midfield, Wirtz again. They haven't played with a number 10, I can remember, since Coutinho. Right? And of course, Diaz out on the wing. Even with Salah's goals last season, let's not take away from what Gakpo and Diaz offered. Yeah. And now you have a situation where you've got Isak and Ekitike, and the red card of Ekitike just before Palace. You can tell me what, I've never seen him like that all season. That's because Isak started and Isak scored. You can tell me what, that man was too fired up. So that's almost like showing them, you know what I am here. Don't get me wrong. I think it's still a long way to go. I'm sure they will click. If they do click, when they will click, it's going to be a scary time. But right now, it is looking a bit sticky because, of course, like you said, Wirtz and all that, when you spend this much money, Gav, and I'm going to play, when you spend this much money, you're going to come under pressure. You know what I mean? And there's a reason why Liverpool haven't retained the title ever, and that's why people say it's It's hard to win the title. It's even harder to retain it. We haven't done it. I can only remember in my time what I've seen is United and City doing that. But again, Ahmad, why is there so much protection over Liverpool? Because a few weeks ago, they were the outright favourites, and now all of a sudden, a few bad results, and now all of a sudden, we favourites, which I don't actually buy. Because I still think we're taking too much away from City and the Terminator that we've got over there with signing Donnarumma. But
remember that was I said was my favorites. My favorites was City this season. Remember I said you asked me who's lead I said City. Sorry, I'm gonna give you a chance. It's just because I felt that the signings they made when they are going to gel are match winners. And they are match winners in the sense of what City needs to win in games. Foden is starting to slowly come back to himself. We haven't seen Ryan Turkey yet. I think he played a couple of games and got injured, so he's got to come back.
Yeah.
Mamouche needs to come back.
Mamouche needs to come back, right? And all of them individually on their day. And then you've got Haaland who doesn't always seem to get injured. He seems to stay fit. And City playing
Haaland is one of the top 3 strikers in European football right now.
Yeah.
Along with Mbappe and Kane.
Haaland is up there with Kane and Mbappe right now for form. I've never seen Haaland like this.
Yeah.
Carry on
and the thing is that he's quite happy with the other day. He had 7 touches in the entire game in the opposition box. He scored twice. He is quite happy with the fact that I think he's adjusted to the fact it's not about him being involved in the play anymore. And I think Pep has kind of worked out. We're playing with a man short. They're technically playing with a man short with Haaland. He doesn't contribute to anything in their footballing terms, attacking-wise, right? However, they need to just get the ball in the box and he'll finish. So when they defend, they're defending -1. When they attack, they're attacking -1. When they get into the final third, they're 10 players. So everyone is waiting for City to go on this tiki-taka attack, which they're not doing anymore. And I think that's where they're catching everybody off guard with this new type of football. But it's like, man, this is a beast that has got that in them slowly. And he's slowly creeping up the table. And I think he's waiting to get to a position where he's within touching distance of being number 1, and he's going to unleash himself.
And you know what's scary, just to touch on that, the fact that you're saying they're playing this different type of football, they didn't forget the tiki-taka. So they can always have something to fall back on, if you get what I'm saying. So if this somewhere along the season doesn't work, he can change to go back and say that, because it's already a system that's in place within the club from youth level that you've built it up. So that is always, that mentality is always there to play that way, which is actually quite scary.
Yeah, definitely.
But in all honesty, to jump on the Liverpool thing, I don't think they should be protected. In all honesty, if I try to think a hard look at it, there's a crisis there. Because why? You can look at so many factors now. If you take, I asked this question to myself, if you take the 25, 28 goals a season away from Salah, what does he give? What does he give?
Yeah, I know what you mean. That's why he has come under
scrutiny as well. On a harsh take, on a really harsh take. What does he give you? At the moment, your best players are Ikatike and Chiesa, but do you now bench Isak?
What's that phrase about Salah? He's the worst best player.
Yeah.
He's the worst best player.
I get where you're coming from, but now he's gonna go to Egypt and then he's gonna do amazing stuff there.
Yeah, already scored for Egypt yesterday. He scored a brace for Egypt and took them to the World Cup. So.
And then he comes to Liverpool and then he stinks up the place again, or he doesn't live up to that performance that he used to. So the question is, should they then have gotten rid of him when they should have?
I'm gonna go back. Remember 2 years ago with the AFCON, I was slated by Aslam and the other clown.
You always slated by Aslam.
The other two real clowns, really. That IPR comments. But remember where I said when it came to the AFCON, I felt Salah was holding back where Liverpool was concerned, and I didn't think he was giving his best because he's got one eye focused on the AFCON. And the man came back after the AFCON, and I think he was probably the best player in the Premier League in the last 12 league games of the season. So I'm gonna hold back and judging him. I don't know, like I didn't see him play for Egypt yesterday. Again, I'm gonna stand by what I said back then. Leading up to the AFCON, he knows how important he is for Egypt, right? Would you want to be injured? Because maybe if he's injured, he's not just a loss to Egypt, he's a loss to Liverpool as well. He's out injured.
Yeah, but I mean, how many players don't you think are going to play like at the season cup? There's a lot of players that are going to play like that. I mean, look at Richarlison by you guys. We know how Richarlison plays in a World Cup.
So does that David, then that comes back to if Liverpool's in a slump, all right? Could it be that they're not really in a slump, like you said? There's so many inconsistencies in teams' performances. Is it because guys are picking and choosing when do I play at high intensity level and when do I kind of hold back because I've got one eye on the World Cup next year? Others have got one eye on the AFCON. Right? And we tend to ignore this. We tend to ignore this. But you if you look at your squad currently at the moment, Dave, the reason why and I think Aslam made a comment earlier, like you know. 1 week you're the media's favorite, the next week you're the flop of the season. Arsenal can go with 2 draws now, and all of a sudden we'll say they bottled it again. Crisis, bottled it again.
Like, I mean, look at it like this.
It's very it's up and down. It stops it. It's up and down.
For me, it hinged on moments because a few weeks ago Liverpool were 5 points clear. They were playing Palace. They could have been 6 or 8 points clear, right? And then Eden Ketia scored. We were drawing and losing to Newcastle. We scored the winner. That gap became, 2 points, right? The next game, Chelsea. Draw, 3 points, whatever. We did our job against West Ham. Then all of a sudden, one last-minute goal by Esteban changed it. That's in two moments that can hinge, that can change. And now all of a sudden we favorites, which I'm not getting, but carry on.
Yeah, so it's going to be a case where this is going to be up and down, nail-biting stuff, but not great football. We're not going to see great football. We're going to see results, but I don't think it's going to be great. I think, again, it comes to the squad depth. Do you know what's good for you guys, Dev? You've got Eze that wants to go to the World Cup. Big signing for Arsenal. He's not only playing to maintain his place in the England squad, he's maintaining, to get into the Arsenal team. And, to keep his place in the England squad, he's got to perform at Arsenal. All right? Then you've got a Martinelli. He's either going to wipe his hands and say, I'm not going to make the World Cup squad for Brazil, so I'm all in where Arsenal's concerned. Or does he get a call up and he's like, I'm okay with this, sitting on the bench, sharing the position with Eze. All right? So you're going to get maximum out of the two of them. Then, again, Waneri and Dauman are not, on the horizon of England. But you've got Saka, he knows he's going to the World Cup, come what may for England, right? He's going. Yeah. You've got Declan Rice who's going. That could be, and you've got Zubomendi that's going. So that could be, at your worst, is the two of them not giving 100%. And Odegaard. And then you start drawing and losing games because your midfield is not all in. Can
I give you an interesting fact what I saw today? 18 of our players have been called up for international duty.
Yeah.
18.
Yeah, 18. But remember, of that 18...
That's including Max Dauman and Ethan for the under-21s, right?
But of that 18, that countries
18, swear down. 18,
no, but I'm saying is the countries that they're representing, or some of those countries out already where World Cup contention is concerned, or they're still in. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like if you
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
it's the same. Look, it's the same argument where Flick was upset with Spain over Lamine, where they were leading the game 3-0, and he let the kid play full game, and then he comes back with an injury.
Injured.
Fucking Dembele, when Deschamps brought on Dembele in a game that we were already leading 3-0. That I didn't understand.
And the thing is, clubs get upset because why do you do that? There's no need for that to do that.
There was no need because we were winning the game. We were winning 2-0 already. And he brought on Dembele and Dembele got injured. And then, yes, he missed the game, obviously. And we all know the result, which we will touch on later on Barcelona as well. But again, it can affect you because, I mean, look how long he was out for. And even later that night of the Ballon d'Or, PSG lost to Marseille.
They lost to Marseille on that night where he won the Ballon d'Or. They lost.
When he won the Ballon d'Or, yeah. So
Yeah,
it's...
they lost. And that's the thing that you take into consideration is coming back to what Dave said. How do you manage that on a club level? Do you tell the player, I don't care, you need to give you 100% of the club because this is where you play most of the time. We pay you a lot of money to play here. Or do you tell them, listen here, it's fine, we'll make a plan. You can't. You
Can I tell
as
you?
a professional, you have to give your all both ways.
Can I
That
tell
is
you what I think? Can I tell you what I think is going to happen, Ahmad?
Go for it.
Some of the players will play maybe in the first game of the internationals. Then you'll see a lot pull out for the second game.
Mm.
All of a sudden picked up a knock, all of that shit. Like, I mean, you
Yeah,
don't
we
even have
know
to,
that.
you even have to look at Bafana. I mean, Ikram Reyners pulled out with a medical issue or whatever. No, that's because Sundowns are in cuck. That's why. So
The
I
other
was saying
thing
to
is,
Gav, I was telling Gav offline. I think Kane pulled out of tonight's game, but apparently they say he's going to be fit for the second game.
like,
And that's just to
how
get
do you
his
know?
that's just to keep his match sharpness, obviously, for because he's on a run at Bayern. But it is
Exactly.
what it is. Look, I don't think Liverpool are in a crisis mode. I think it's too early again. Like all the signings
I
that
think
have
it's a
come in.
long-term crisis. I think it's not a crisis now. It's a long-term crisis because why? If we don't rectify it now, if we don't resolve it now, it's going to be. And I think that is what most people can see. Is why they're saying it's a crisis because why? If it's starting like this now, you 6, 7 games into the season, and this is the situation you find yourself. You spend $500 million on players, and the ones that you've spent the most on is not giving you what you want. Yes, fair enough, you need to give them time, all of that. But you still have majority of the players, more or less. I know some is gone, but I mean, there's a lot of key players that is still there. Your Gravenbergs is still there. Your McAllister is still there. Your Van Dijk is still there. But there's some total foundation there that they should have gelled and enjoyed. It's still there, and now it's not. Now you need to learn it to look around and say, should I have gotten Marco? Should I have gotten the Rasal? Now all these questions pop up. But we wouldn't have this conversation
But hindsight's a wonderful thing, Ahmed.
Hindsight is
Hindsight's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, hindsight is
If
a
they were
wonderful thing.
unbeaten in the league, the Margay wouldn't have been a topic of conversation.
I don't even
No,
think
that's my
You
thing. What I
understand?
said.
It wouldn't
My
have been a
thing
topic
was
of conversation.
I said to Dreyer earlier, why are they calling now for Slot's head? I've seen stuff of fans not
Yeah, I've also
like,
seen that.
calling for Slot's head and Salah to leave. But this conversation wasn't there when there were 5 wins on the bounce. So why are we
Exactly.
having this conversation now? All of a sudden, you have to look at how Jota's passing affected them and all that. That wasn't said when they were winning 5 games. So hindsight is a wonderful thing.
Davey,
It is.
I think to counter that statement, if we look at social media platforms and we look at all of these footballers on the social media platforms, none of them are talking about Liverpool papering over the cracks. If you go back to Carragher, Neville, Scholes, Rio at different times were saying the wins that Liverpool are getting are papering over the cracks that's existing in the team at the moment of the season. All right. So I think people in the know that have played the game. If you don't look at TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, people that don't play football, that are socialites, they were not talking about Liverpool being in a crisis. They were talking about Liverpool running away with the league. People that football pro footballers and columnists were saying something isn't right. Winning games in that late stages, and the way Liverpool were winning games, where teams were getting into the game and better teams would finish Liverpool off. Remember Newcastle played them
I
out in
was
a proper.
disgusted with the way we set up against them because I felt they were there for the taking. Even
they were there for the
Anfield,
taking. You didn't finish them off. Then Arteta's squad selection came to the question, but had they held on to a draw, it wouldn't have been questioned. You wouldn't have gotten the brunt of the fact that you lost for a brilliant free kick, right? Then there was a Newcastle game. Remember, Newcastle played. There was a time Newcastle should have won the game. Didn't. Liverpool ended up winning the game. Newcastle didn't have a proper striker. Had that
And there were
Isak
10
on the
men.
field.
And there were 10 men as well.
And they were down to 10 men. So, yeah, these are the kind of things that there were people who know about the game were saying that, listen, this isn't sustainable. This isn't sustainable. If they do take their hat off to them and say, well done, this is what champions are made of, but this isn't sustainable. And look, it's proving 3 games in a row it's not sustainable.
It's just going to have it, and it's going to come where if they do going to pick up form, we're going to forget this conversation.
They can. I can guarantee they have too much quality. They have too much quality in that team. But let me get to the chat first.
Do they though, Davy?
Hey?
Do they now?
Do they what?
Have too much quality?
Yes.
Yes.
Tell me
remember the quality last year was 6 strikers. Do they have too much quality this season minus those 3 that have left? And leaving it to Salah and Gakpo to pull them out of where they are at. Do they have too much quality though? That is a question that will be answered as the season goes on.
We're going to have a different conversation later on in the league when Isak starts finding form, where Vert slowly start planting his stuff, and now we're going to have a different conversation. I can guarantee you 5, 7, 10 games from now, we're going to sit there and we're going to have a different conversation about Liverpool.
Exactly. I always say I only start judging after 10 games because that's when everything starts taking shape as well.
Exactly.
But let me get into the chat. Can't wait for another episode of the Pro Show. Don't worry, babes, that's coming soon. Aslam, I don't think that's true about Salah because he himself said that Arsenal is his favorite to win the league. He knew why he said that because the team is going to need time to adjust. No, I think that was just fucking mind games.
Exactly. What adjust to what? They play. They won the league last year.
Exactly. That was mind games.
That's what majority of the team is still there. You got a few players that are still there.
Exactly. Wirtz isn't his replacement. Wirtz is Trent's replacement.
Ignore that comment.
Maybe over the top balls. They are missing Trent, though. I will go on a limb and agree with that statement.
But the midfield is a right back's replacement.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, not with that correction.
Aslam, have a night off. Aslam, have a night off, my friend. Have a night off.
No, leave Aslam.
Have a night off.
You invite the shit onto yourself, my man. You see, always battling with the comment section. You, this guy.
Bram, I've got a question for you. I've seen something where it says, I think I spoke to Dave about this earlier. Liverpool scored 13 goals. And I think Spurs has also scored 13 goals, if I'm not mistaken.
We're coming on to Spurs.
But own goals is our top scorer.
Yeah,
so let's not even go. Let's not even go there.
Let me get to the chat. We're coming on to Mr. Pessimistic now, and then we'll touch on Barca as well. We're coming on to Mr. Pessimistic now. Let me just get through the chat quickly. Can come back to the Kanate point, no problem. That was Faba's comment. Why is there so much protection of a pool? I also feel that as well.
Yeah.
Media slates every Prem team, but yet Pool is given time to adapt. I don't know if you guys saw that video where on Sky Sports where they said Liverpool is a team in transition. I don't know how you can be in transition after winning a league.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I don't agree with that.
And spending all that money, but at Sky Sports, man, that's the reason why I don't watch Sky Sports anymore. There's no protection, which was the comment. That's Pep all the years. He plays under the radar to take all the distraction off him, and come times to kick in, he goes for it. And that is actually why I say they're going under the radar, and watch out for them because they have a manager that has been there, seen it and done it all. So I think the World Cup chat is a bit too far, but regardless, one season internationals did kill us because that's where we're picking up injuries. That is one place, that's one thing that strikes fear into me. International break, and I can guarantee you we will get an injury in this international break. Hopefully not. United is a long-term crisis. I can go to all our games and pinpoint what is wrong, what was needed, and what needs to be corrected. I can see the identity of my team and what they're trying to do. Okay. What game can you show me where there was a team that was on top of us for majority of the game? Good question. I can tell you at least for 45 minutes we were on top of the game, but no. Palace, I can tell you Palace should have killed them already. Palace should have been Newcastle 45 minutes. If Aslam means majority of the game, I think he's talking about, I don't know how many minutes. I think he's meaning maybe
My thing is this.
maybe like
My thing
25
is
minutes
this.
into the second half,
Majority
maybe.
of the game,
Yeah.
the team is not on top of you, but if you don't win, the game doesn't matter. Because
Exactly.
if you control majority of the game, but that team has 2-3 chances and they kill you in that 2-3 chances,
Look
and
what
you're sitting
happened.
with majority of the game and dominating it, and you get nothing out of it. That shouldn't
Palace
even
is
be
an example. Palace is an example.
shouldn't even be
Palace had to murder them. Palace
But the thing is this though, Dev. To answer the point of that comment, if you look at the game, was Palace ever really in control of the game where you can say that they were on top of Liverpool? No, they weren't. They weren't.
Not in the second half.
They were carving out chances against the run of play, which they should have converted, which they didn't. But on the whole, Liverpool were probably in control of the game and content. There was a period where Liverpool kicked into panic stage, and exactly that is where Palace then capitalized. Palace capitalized, took their chances, and that was the thing. Had Newcastle taken their chances, Liverpool would have lost the game, but Newcastle didn't, right? And there's no game of football where you've ever had a team, even prime Barca, maybe prime Barca at one stage. That's why they probably considered the best team in the last 20 years, footballing team, prime Barca under Pep. No football game is ever going to be where one team is in total control of an entire game for 90 minutes. That doesn't happen.
Yeah, you don't see
that. In any level of football, both teams are going to have a period where they're on top, but who's more clinical in that period? And it doesn't mean that it's going to be 30 consecutive minutes. It could be 3 spells of 10 minutes each.
Ask me, I've seen
You
Barca
understand?
get 5% position of a game and lose that game 2-0. And then they look at the stats. That team had 2 shots, 2 on target, 2 goals.
Yeah, but again, I want to ask you just off the topic. I know I'm going off track now, yeah, but Gav mentioned something interesting, and I want to ask you. You've been watching Barcelona week in, week out long. Like, I literally watch Barcelona only once. I chat to you, and that's when. But obviously, you watch them week in, week out. And for years now, of course. There's 2 Barcelona teams that stand out. It's the Pep one, with the front line of Henry, Eto'o, and Messi. And then there's Enrique's Barcelona, which had the same midfield, but were more clinical in the sense of with the Suarez and
Neymar
and Messi. Which one do you pick over the 2?
Funny
what a
enough,
question.
That is a rough question, but in all honesty, we have to consider of what has been achieved. Look, both have won trebles, quadruples, both of those.
I'll be back. I'm just going to the gents quickly. I can hear you, Snot. Carry on.
I'm literally gonna say the Luis Enrique one with the front 3 of Neymar, Suarez, Messi, with that Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta. I think because if people still talk Barcelona, that is what they think. They think of that Barcelona. They think
It depends, Ahmad. It depends on how old you are and who you are. Because I don't think there's a lot of people that would have seen the young Messi, Iniesta,
onto the scene.
Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets with that midfield. You know, there's not enough who would have seen that. I'm going to lean towards that Barca, but I mean, another question was directed at you. I'm going to lean to that.
Yeah.
Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, that
one.
Yes, I'm going to lean towards that one.
But I mean, look, if your front 3 get like 99 goals, what was it, 99 between the front 3?
Yeah, that but season, then the calendar year where Messi scored the 91 goals or 90 goals in the calendar year was under the MSN with Messi, Suarez, and Neymar. That means he scored 200 goals between them for the season. Between the 3 of them. That's crazy. You're not going to see that ever in a long time. In the front 3.
It's a good topic to have, which we can have again in the off season. Actually, you know, when these weird topics come up. Well, look out for Ty's new channel that we're starting as well. Gav, it's coming to you, my man.
Let's go to you first. Let's go to Arsenal Rise first.
No, we can finish with Arsenal.
Okay, cool.
We can finish with Arsenal.
You decide. You guys can decide.
Look, we can go to Spurs, and I'm not going to be pessimistic. I'm going to be
We know
brutally
you're gonna
honest.
Wow.
No. Whoa. I'm going to be brutally honest here, right? I'm gonna be
Wow,
brutally
are
honest here.
you sick or something? What's wrong?
No, I'm going to be honest.
Let's
I'm going to
go.
be honest. I'm loving the fact that your Spurs are third in the table. Again, is going to come to show me a game that we've dominated. There's only 2 games. West Ham and Burnley. West Ham and Burnley. City we played well, but that's a norm. You know, I'm not going to count that game. I'm not going to count that game.
It's a big win.
It's a big win, but I'm not going to count that game. There's only 2 games where Spurs have literally been, where you can say no, dominant, good, played very well. It was those games. The rest of the games we've been fortunate. If own goals is your top scorer and Paulinho is your second best scorer, where's your goals going to come from when times are tough? You know, where's your goals going to come from?
You guys have the squad. I told you this before. If you look now, at least a competitive squad for top 4.
Yeah,
I think the squad is here, but now, like the last few games, there was some very, very like shaky squad selections. Like how do you keep players like Udogie or what's it, Spence, I think also.
But Udogie came back from injury. He came back from injury.
It was like Paulinho wasn't even selected one game or something like that. And
yeah, we
like,
spoke about that, me and you, where he was on the bench.
Like, you need to already by now, the way the players are playing, you need to already know that this is my strong team and this is the players that's going to come. You could have seen that already. Like, if everybody can see it, if I can see it, if you can see it, how can the manager not see it? I don't care what the player does in training, to be honest. We see that so many times where the manager say, oh, he's been good in training, and come on the pitch and then he stinks the place week in and week out. But we've seen the players that perform and what they can do. It's just a matter of.
But I mean, would you, in Thomas Frank's defense, right? He's a new coach, brand new at Spurs. He's been there 3 months now. Actually, count the off season. He's got to get people on his side, right? So he speaks Odebeer every time in his comment is that Odebeer's trained well. He stood out in training and he played, but Odebeer's absolutely shit, right? Is Kudus. I know people's raving about him, but I've only seen him play well twice as well for Spurs. Like really good. Where for me, a winger, Devi, right? A winger has to be able to create, cross, score. He's just strong. He's strong. He's strong. Okay, yes, he's strength.
To watch Nani Madueke. What has he done?
For me, he's been more effective than what Kudus has been. Kudus has been strong. Kudus has been strong. So does Mohamed Kudus.
But Kudus scored over the weekend. That's more than what I
deflected into the goal. It was
deflection. A goal. That's a goal.
I hear you, but for me, listen. If you talk about, and I'm not talking about other teams, so I'm talking about at Spurs, right? If you look at the wingers we've had over the years, you've had Bale, Lennon, Ginola.
Look, all of these people. Him to, bro.
No. Listen to me. All of those were wingers, right? They had an end product. They would either create. They would take the game by the scruff of the neck. They would create or they would score. All right. What does he? Yes, he's brought a lot to our team in terms of his work rate, his strength, blah blah blah, all of those things. And I can't believe I'm leaning towards this. There's times when I'd rather play Brendan Johnson than him, because the amount of balls the amount of balls that ends up with him and he can't finish, right? And I can't believe I'm saying this. Then there's times I think, you know what, let's just play Brendan Johnson, because he doesn't, for me, he just doesn't.
But you are taking the piss, because you literally said give Sesko and Isak and all of these players time, but you're not willing to give Kudus time.
No, I'm saying the hype is created about him at the moment. We spoke about as where we are at the moment. It's how can I say it's inflating what we're actually doing, right? we're only there because Chelsea have been inconsistent. Newcastle and Villa have really not, set the world alight in these first few games. They're starting to get there now, and we've been very fortunate a lot of the games to get over the line, right? And yes, people are saying that is what you need from a manager. A manager can get the team to get over the line. But I'm not going to be blown away by the fact that I'm happy that we were third. But like I said to you, November is our testing period. If we come through, if he performs, Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, United, if he performs in those 4 games,
I thought I had problems in November.
That's our games, right? If he performs in those games and Spurs come out still being third at the end of November,
okay,
then I'm going to say, the hype around him after these first 6 games, the man's the real deal.
My thing is this. I still feel that you have the squad to do it. So if he selects the correct squad, how can he not?
Yeah.
The squad is not bad. I'm not saying you guys are going to go win the league and you're going to go smash the...
No, definitely.
But the squad is definitely... You cannot tell me... First of all, Kudus is not a wing. I don't know why the Prem came with it. Before he came to Prem, he wasn't a wing. He didn't play wing. He's a center.
Play wing at Ajax.
Where did he play at
Ajax? He's a
center. He was an AM at remember when he scored the 2 goals on Anfield? He played attacking mid for Ajax.
That's his natural position. Put him there, and then you're going to see a different Kudus. Because I was shocked when he came, and he started playing on the wing. It's the same like we can sit there and be angry about Javi Simmons. Because West Ham played him there. Same thing with Javi Simmons. He's not a winger.
Yeah.
But now you can't. If you play both, you have 2 players playing in the same position.
Yeah, but
I do think the Solanke injury has forced that Richarlison had to play up front. Because I do think our best left winger at the moment is Richarlison. He's actually his best for Spurs when he plays on the left.
Yeah,
so
he's still coming back as well.
Yeah, well, he's played like...
Don't ever talk to me about that, man.
He played 10 minutes and he almost got a red card.
I don't want to hear, don't mention that.
He almost got a red card in his first 5 minutes of his game.
Don't talk to me about that.
He was lucky that
every time, I promise you, every time that man is going to score for Spurs, the words are going to swear.
And I said to Ahmed, watch him score in the North London derby just to piss them.
Oh my Lord!
I remember you telling me that.
Watch, you will do it. That's just my luck. But you mentioned those tough fixtures, no? And I'm sure we're going to touch on the Arsenal segment as well. But don't you think that it's the other games that you should worry about because you played Wolves at home and you just got a draw?
Just got a draw, and people say, yeah, it's our bogey team. Do you know, we've only, I think it's the last 10 games. Spurs have only gotten 4 points out of 30 against Wolves.
Yeah, that is your bogey team.
Everybody's got their tone in this.
Yeah, it's home and away. We home and away. The Wolves is our bogey team. Good draw against Brighton. We fought to the end.
Again, we were fortunate. And you fought back against Bodo Glimt.
Who's ever played Bodo Glimt?
No, but let's be honest.
You know what I mean?
Wait. Let me learn.
Yeah.
Last year on the end, you lose that game against Brighton and you lose that game against Bodo Glimt.
True.
Yes or no?
100%.
True. But Ange convincingly beat Bodo Glimt. And
weird manager. But I love him.
He's a weird coach. But Dave, take nothing away from Thomas Frank. Like I said, he's got to get people to believe in him, especially the older bears. He's done wonders with Sa. He's done absolute wonders.
I can agree.
I think it's Sa picked up an injury 3 games ago and he's slightly getting back into it. I think Paulinho and Sa in the middle for Spurs, are doing brilliant. The fact that we don't have Madison and Kulusevski, big ups to Thomas Frank for where we are at the moment, for how we turned this team around. January, I would like to see us go for we need a striker. Listen, if Villa are still struggling, make a move for Ollie Watkins. Make a move for Ollie Watkins.
Sorry to
Yeah.
break your one.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
captain,
he's
captain,
captain, yes. He's
captain. Yeah,
captain.
he spoke about how big it earlier today. How big it is for him. Now Div, I don't know what you guys. What's your honest opinion of our goalkeeper?
Nah,
Uh,
not convinced.
Vicario. Not
Sure.
Not convinced, bro. Honestly,
Nah, man.
not
I don't know
convinced.
what.
Really?
His
Look
life,
into,
bro. Honestly, I don't
today's
know.
game. You either have a shot-stopping goalkeeper or you have a ball-playing goalkeeper. I don't know what he is. To be honest,
Look, he does pull off saves when you're like, yo, that's a
Yeah.
brilliant save, right? But he is just not
but you
Premier
can't
League
classify him
quality
as a
for me.
shot-stopping. For example, Donnarumma is a shot-stopping goalkeeper. We all know that.
Hmm.
We can
Can we
classify,
just
but you
touch on
can't
that topic?
identify.
Can we just touch on that topic? I'm at brilliant point. Would you say he has been a defining factor in City finding their form?
Yep.
I say so.
100%. I say so.
City never.
100%. You know why?
City's problem was the defense was always quickly broken, and they needed
Can
a
I
shot
tell you why?
stopper.
I'll tell you why I say that. Edison used to play out from the back and pass it around here, what. Donnarumma pumps and balls straight up to Haaland. And he can
Exactly.
stop.
Exactly.
I feel that for me, it's like
I
Edison
questioned it in the
outgrew the
beginning.
Premier League, right? I felt Edison outgrew the Premier League.
Hmm.
He needed to move on to Arsenal, to get the best out of him again, or maybe a PSG or whatever, right? With Donnarumma coming in, his experience with the Barca not even 28 yet. Remember, he was 15 when he made his debut for AC Milan, right? So he's played 10 years of pro football now. But the man, and remember, you guys slated him. You said he was not that great, Davey. I told you guys. I told you. I think this is the best keeper in the world for me. My opinion. And look at what this brother's done at City. He has turned them into starting to be able to believe that they can hold teams out because he is a beast in goal.
He saved them
proper beast in goal.
And I questioned him in the beginning.
Proper goalkeeper.
Because Pep
That's a
always
proper
went towards
goalkeeper.
a ball-playing goalkeeper to fit his style and to fit his narrative and to fit his structure. So when he came in, I was like, okay, how is this going to work? What is his mentality? And then when I actually saw him play and see what he was trying to do with David, said he pumps that ball straight up to Haaland. And we all know how physical and how fast Haaland is to go compete. You know he's going to go get that ball. And we obviously know the shot stopper that he is. And it turns them to completely different beast, because why? Now we know that defense can get broken. We know that. But now you break that defense and then you have to worry about Donnarumma. It's quite scary.
To worry about him.
That's
the
quite
thing.
scary.
No, look, for me in the Prem right now, top 3 goalkeepers in no particular order: Donnarumma, Alisson, and David Raya. For me,
yeah,
definitely.
100% agree. 100%
I still think that I've always maintained. I think when we started, even when we were on Red's Table Pod, and I don't know if you guys can remember, I always said that Liverpool can play without Van Dijk. Liverpool can play without Alisson. I think that he's been the most influential signing in the Klopp era for me, and now in Slot's era. For me, he is take the goals away of Salah, or take Salah's goals and take the goals that he saves and what he brings.
Look at
to
how
Liverpool.
many points he saves them, bro.
Points that he saves.
We touched in the Palace game. It wasn't for him.
Remember when we had the show where we said PFA Player of the Year, who the nominations, and I think it was the year when Dijk or Salah won it, and I said PFA Player of the Year is Alisson, because without him, Liverpool, I think it's the year Liverpool won the league. And when Dijk won it that year, speaking of the question, was Van Dijk Player of the Year that season? And I said Alisson is the Player of the Year that season, not Van Dijk, because you can take Van Dijk out of Liverpool. But if you take Alisson out, Liverpool will win 1 or 2 games and bang, they will start losing.
Mamardashvili isn't too bad, though.
I was going to bring that up now. I was going to say,
Mamardashvili isn't too bad. But again, there's tiers, there's levels to this thing, in my opinion. There are levels. So
yeah, and with goalkeepers, it's interesting with goalkeepers, because you can, with them, it's a case of David De Gea was always the best keeper in Man United's history post Schmeichel. There's a debate: is it Dimo van der Sar? I would go as far as to saying, yes, Van der Sar won the trophies, but there's also the players, the 10 in front of him, made it very easy for him to hold the medal up around his neck, right? Same as Gary Neville, it was easy because of the others. The guy had never had the luxury of those players because when he came, they all left, right? And then to still maintain being their best goalkeeper since then also being one of the best keepers in the Premier League in his area, in his era, sorry, right? Like you said, Dave, there's levels to this thing as goalkeepers. I still believe Ramsdale, for me, is probably a better goalkeeper than David Raya. But Raya has earned the right to say, listen, I'm better than Ramsdale because he's been part of the Arsenal team that has finished second 3 times. Sorry, speaking correctly now. And he's played a massive role in that. There's games where he's literally pulled you up, but there's also been games where he's the reason that's the 1 year I blame him that he never won the league. I blame him. Right?
Exactly.
But if you look now, he's coming into his era where is he the best thing since Seaman?
Nah,
he's coming into there's an argument now between Lehman and him. Do you know what I mean?
No.
There was never argument Lehman after Seaman. There was never an argument. Now it's where Raya.
I can tell you straight up, I was never a David Seaman fan. I was never a David Seaman fan.
I've heard Davey say that a lot to me as well.
Yeah, but you can't take away though.
I always like Lehman for his shithousery, and he could also come up with a big save. And I'll always remember Lehman for that save against Villarreal. But Seaman, there was a lot that I questioned about him, but that's neither here nor there. But David Raya, he has his moments as well. But like you said,
I just think David Raya is just like this little above Ramsdale.
For me, there's a triangle, man. For me, there's your goalkeeper, right? Who's the 1, and the 2 is your 2 centre backs. They need to be intertwined. So David Raya brings that calmness, which translates onto those 2 centre backs. If I am making sense.
I 100% agree with you.
So I mean, like, if you're a defender and you know there's a brother's gonna catch on shit here behind you, you're gonna be a bit shaky.
Exactly.
So but I actually wanted to ask Gav a question now, but let's jump on it before we jump into the Arsenal section. Who do you think, Ahmad, are gonna be in the running for, let's say, those last 2 spots of top 5? So I think we can all agree it's gonna be Arsenal, Liverpool, and City for top 3. But remember, there's 2 spots available. Spurs is in the mix, Chelsea is in the mix, United if they get 1 more victory. Even though they've got Liverpool
I don't think United. I don't think we put United there yet.
Villa.
I think United. Villas are on and off. I can put Spurs there only because what I said earlier, the squad that they have.
So you
can compete.
And Chelsea.
I'll put definitely. I can put Chelsea there. I can put Chelsea. I can't see Villa there. I think Villas fell off of it. I can't. Look, if they can turn it around and give me a season like they gave last season, like, I mean, we don't judge until the first 10 games, and I mean, we're reaching pretty close to the first 10 games, and we're kind of seeing more or less the way things go. But I still think it's no particular order for the top 3: Liverpool, Arsenal, City, in no particular order for that top 3, and then you have Spurs and Chelsea. That for me, and then probably below that, Newcastle.
What about this one? Bournemouth.
Oh, Mr. Rastam, how are you doing, sir?
Big up, Rastam.
Bournemouth.
Semenyo on fire.
He is, but it's the same thing with that Brentford situation of last season. They tend to die out there in the middle of the season when the going gets tough.
You mean Forest? I think you mean Forest, bro.
I'm sorry, Forest. You're correct. They tend to die out. Like, look, they get the European spot. Look, I'm no doubt they'll get a Conference League or even a Europa League. I would love to see Bournemouth in the Europa League. They're obviously not going to get that Champions League spot. I don't think because they tend to die out in the middle of the season. They're great now. They're great now, but in the middle of the season when your squad matters, because what happens if Semenyo gets injured?
Yeah.
Semenyo saved them now the last game. That horrible condition.
Yeah, but they got Justin Kluivert as well, bro.
They do, but I mean, So I don't think Clyburn would have done what Semenyo have done in the last game.
No ways.
That
They
man
Morgan Rogers scored.
single-handedly ran through that team. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So my thing is that's where squad depth come in because what happens, God forbid, Semenyo gets injured. Where do they run to now? Because he is literally the main man for everything. That's where your stronger teams come
He's
in.
on
That's where your
fire.
squad depth come in. But I love Semenyo. It's just a joy to watch Semenyo play.
Yeah, enough is. Do you want to touch on Barca? You know what?
Whew. Let's touch on it.
Let's,
Bring it on.
let's touch on Barca, man. Let's touch on Barca before we come to Arsenal in the title race talk. Talk to me. How are you feeling? Humiliated by Sevilla, eh? 4-1.
Gutted.
Alexis Sanchez
Gutted.
dunking on your ass.
Gutted.
And losing to PSG.
Gutted.
Talk to me. Give me your
Losses in a
thoughts.
row.
Give me
2 losses in a row. And if
two in a row.
you look at it, I said it always, and I said it. Flick's not going to change. He's going to keep the high line. And one of two things is going to happen. Big risk, big reward. It's either we're going to have that huge risk, a team's going to score 2-3, and we have to then have the quality and class that we have to reap the reward of it. They've looked very lackluster, no motivation to play. A little bit more against PSG, but I couldn't see them at all in that Sevilla game. And we're
But
not
if
talking just.
Lewandowski scores, if Lewa scores the penalty, the game could change.
I don't think that game changed. I think that score stays exactly the same because there was no drive from them. There was no motivation to play at all. Never mind no Rafinha and no Lamine. We've shown that we can play without him. We're not even going to touch on that topic because we can play without him. Not as good, not as dominant, but we can win it. And a team that's as Sevilla, they haven't been great this season. They're a good team. They have some nice players, but they're not that strong. Sevilla is a team I smash 4-0.
Yeah. That's the first
Season
time they
in
won
season.
you in.
Don't even get me started on Ronald McDonald over here. I don't know why.
Ronald McDonald.
I don't know. I told you in the beginning of the season, Ronald McDonald being my captain I don't like it. I told you I don't like it. And then Nico Martinez leaving was one of the biggest losses for us because he was so good at organizing the high line and keeping Kuparsi in check and keeping the whole high line in check. It was
I told you that, Ahmed.
That is a nice segue, actually.
I told you, losing him.
Now, teams are starting to find you out with the high line and starting to punish you.
And you know who started that? Rayo Vallecano.
Where they play that one striker just chilling there and play it over to the wing. And then they score it and it's onside.
Exposing that.
I see the same thing.
I think Oviedo also put you under pressure, but it's just because Solomon Rondon should be playing in the Cape Town Tigerberg over 40s league.
And
Rondon's still playing, bruh.
Oviedo striker. He plays up front for Oviedo.
Okay, but then Santi Cazorla is also still playing, me, bro.
Then Donker was there.
Then Donker was playing at night.
And
Eric Bailly.
And Eric Bailly.
I like it.
And Oviedo was giving Barcelona a very testing time that night. So
look, any team is going to give us a testing time with the sideline. Play me against the under 13 boys squad is going to give me a testing time with the sideline. That is the game we play.
Would you also say, Ahmed, that there's a lot of expectation on Lamine, right? To the point now where as soon as he's out, it's as if you don't have another outlet where goals are going to come from.
Look, I told David now earlier, we've shown that we can play without him, not as convincingly, but we can play without Rafinha and without Lamine. I mean, Ferran Torres has been brilliantly stepped up. Fermin Lopez, when he comes in, when he slots in that false nine position, he can step up. We can. The players that are there can step up and they can do the job, not as convincingly. So I wouldn't say yes. Obviously, I'm gonna say yes to having Lamine in my team and Rafinha in my team all the time. Rashford, he's my saving grace. Thank you,
Mm.
Manchester United, because he's gonna stay.
You
Hey,
remember
the
when you
first
when you laughed? Can you guys remember when you all laughed about Rashford? Nah, I have that clip as well.
I'm anti.
Yeah,
Anti.
can you remember
we all
how they
laughed.
were laughing?
Both of
Yeah,
We
them.
all laughed at
Both
that.
of
they
them.
were
When
laughing
we
And I
about
was
it.
saying,
hypothetically asked the question last year, it was last season.
That was
It wasn't
last
hypothetical
even.
when we asked that
It was
question
even.
last
It wasn't
season.
even in this season. It was last season when we
Last
raised it as
season when we
Villa,
asked that question, they
and
all started
I said,
laughing. But he's been
"What
brilliant. Look, he's
Rashford,
been brilliant. I hear
Barcelona?"
he
this.
has been, and to be fair, that game
There's
against
talks that you
Sevilla,
guys want to keep him. You
he
guys
got
want to
the
keep
man of
him.
the match, even though we lost.
He's a rice man. Sorry.
Rashford got man of the match, even though we lost
Look,
because of
even in
his
Aston,
performance
the Champions League game against Villa, he was pretty
against
That's
decent.
Newcastle.
brilliant. Forget that. Forget about the
Newcastle,
new.
Newcastle,
Let's talk about the
Newcastle,
Newcastle one. You're talking about Villa last
Newcastle.
year.
No, I'm
Are we
talking
gonna address
about.
the elephant in the room, Ahmad?
Say again.
Ansu Fati. Have you watched what Ansu Fati's been doing?
I see he's been scoring at Monaco, and
Mm,
he's been playing really
mm.
well. But I
We've
still
got
think
him. We've got him next in the
I was
Champions
I
League.
wasn't one of those people that was on that bandwagon where I told you guys I still have faith in Fati. Like even Ty also said, like you have that faith as a boss fan, you want Fati to come back. But if you look at the long run, we were too quick to jump that end of Messi era, passing it on to the next big thing, not being sure.
Yeah.
Because I hate it when people come to me and they say, no, Lamine is another Fati. Clearly not. That conversation is
No
died with me.
fucking
Because
ways. No.
you can clearly see the levels of difference. And I only think that we now got the player that we can say has passed out the tools from Messi. I think we skipped Fati. And I would have loved Fati to be that. I would have loved him to
And
be
then
that.
leave this fucking the Kalani Sesame stuff of human. Yo.
But we can now clearly see, for me it's a big achievement if you look at Lamine Ball being at 18 years old and being the second best player in the world.
Can I ask you a question just before we jump onto the Arsenal thing?
Hmm.
Me and Ty had a conversation a few weeks ago, and he said that before I come on to that question as well, that's a brilliant question. I think
Oh
you are
yes.
missing Gavi. I think you are missing Gavi as well. I like Pedri. I think he's for me is the best right now, along with Vitinha as well. So I put them in that bracket, in that elite bracket.
I
But
agree with you there
do
100%.
you think that a lot of this fame might be going to Lamine Yamal's head at this age? Look, I know
Yes.
he's young, but I mean he's been in the press
Yes.
for
For
females and leaking and midgets and all that shit. So Ty actually made a good point. Ty said he didn't want him to win Ballon d'Or because it would have definitely went to his head, and he didn't want to put him on that pedestal because
he the,
that's what happened with Dembele a few years ago.
100% agree, and I think it's this ego thing is what puts a lot of people down about him. It's a different situation for a young kid. Look, there's been times where he's put his ego up and he's matched it with his football skills on the pitch. We've seen it, but now it's gone too. For me, I feel it's gone too far to where
Mm,
everything has gone to it. And he, it's sad to see, because why? Where's that veteranship? There is veteranship in the team, within even within the managers, to be able to control him and say, listen here, you need to slow down now. You understand?
mm.
Because it has gone to his head. His ego is that far, and I don't want it to be that, because if it's going to start affecting his gameplay, then some drastic measures needs to be taken. For now, like look, even the game against PSG, the first 20 minutes he was fine, and then we didn't see Lamine in the whole game again.
Mm. Gave a nice
Lamine was
ball though, that through ball.
Oh, it was brilliant. And he had moments here there, but it wasn't like where when he burst onto the scene and how he was last season, where every touch there was like he could do nothing wrong. We need that. Barcelona's
Mm.
high pressure. If you give that performance, you can't have a performance just a little bit lower. You need to keep that.
I
You
actually agree
need to
with
keep.
Greg. I actually agree with Gobs here. His father doesn't make it easy on him
Yes,
as well.
yes. So
Father's
it's
a
once
proper
again it comes back
fucking
to what I said.
idiot, man.
It's the guidance around him, the people around him that is guided, because he's young, he's 18. Suddenly, he, from making his debut to now, suddenly he has all this fame, everything just thrown at him at the age of 18, 17, 18 years old. He needs guidance. Every kid needs it. His maturity on the pitch, sure, if you could have that maturity outside of the pitch, I would be happy. But it's going to cost him if he's going to continue going like this. I 100% agree with that. If he's going to continue with his ego, and it's sad because why he's such a brilliant footballer. Look what happened to Ronaldinho with parties and stuff. We all know what happened to Ronaldinho at Barca. Coming late to training, parties. If he's going to start doing that at a young age, and Flick is one of those people. He's not scared to bench you. You've seen it with Rafinha. As good as Rafinha is, Rafinha came 5 minutes late for a conditioning. Wasn't even a proper training. It was just like a just a touch-up thing. 5 minutes late. Okay, you benched. He's that, and I like that. And he needs to start doing that with Lamine. He really needs to.
Fairs, I hear that. But look, we're still gonna watch our Classico together now. I'll watch along.
Yes.
Bram, you're more than welcome to come.
You're more than welcome.
When is our Classico?
26th of October.
26th of October. That's just
26th.
after
What time? What time is kickoff?
It's the evening. I think it's like 9 o'clock.
The late night, the Wednesday's winner. Okay, but Classico can be in the
Sunday.
afternoon as well.
It's a Sunday, the 26th.
If it's not 9 o'clock, I need to double check. If it's not 9 o'clock, then it's normally like 5:15, 6 o'clock, which is also nice.
That's a decent time, yeah.
Before we move on, one thing I want to say is they officially confirmed now that we're playing Villarreal on the 20th of December in America, a league game. It's confirmed now. It's crazy. I'm so upset about that. For me, I feel ashamed. I feel ashamed sit here because 2 seasons ago, I was very happy with La Liga, with our officiating, with the way we were, and whatever. The only issue I had was I feel my biased opinion, the attack that was on my club regarding what we can spend, blah blah blah. But now the officiating has gone to shits. I can't sit here and say La Liga's got a call right. There's so many calls in so many games that have gone wrong that I don't know where it comes from.
But it's not as bad as the Premier League.
I was gonna say now. Have you been watching the Premier, bro?
If you look
the Premier
at some
League is
of the penalties that's been given, oh my God, I would put the Premier League a little bit above with the decisions, because some of the penalties and some of the calls that has been made in La Liga, it's atrocious.
Have you seen the Jokeres one against Newcastle?
Okay, yeah, that was bad.
And the United one against Brentford, it wasn't given.
Oh my Lord, that's a sending off. That changed that whole
the red card. Yeah, the red card.
That whole game. But yeah, boys, let's come on to the Arsenal segment. Like I usually do, I'll let you guys go. You guys can decide first before I come in. A lot of people are saying we are title favorites, and I'm still not buying that shit. Yes, we do have the best squad in terms of depth-wise. Hence why, for me, there can be no excuse for this manager this year. This year, for me, it's all on him. He's taken the handbrake off, which I'm happy about. We were playing a lot of times with the handbrake on. And just every time when the flirter started finding his form, he got injured again. He's the first player actually. He's injured again. He's got an MCL. He's got a knee injury. He's the first player to go off.
How long is it out for?
They're talking about 8 weeks. He's the first player
so sorry, Dave. So you'll miss the derby.
Yeah,
I'm sure he'll miss the derby. I'm quite sure he'll miss the derby.
100%.
Now you'll win the derby now. If he played, I would have given us a chance to get a point, because we're going to you first. We're going to you.
Yeah, I would have liked the game by you guys first.
If he played, I would have said, there's a.
But you know what? To be honest, he was getting against Olympiacos. And the thing is, when we played against Newcastle, when he came on, he changed the game. So just when he was finding his form, I think the shackles came off a bit. Just to answer this woman's question, the reason why I'm not so convinced is because I've seen us have leads and bottle it, and I've seen us chase and not do fuck all. So that answers that question. But where do you guys stand on it? We've got the squad.
Here's my question. Are you in a better position now in terms of squad depth, in terms of the players that you have compared to when you guys bottled it and when you guys were chasing it?
No, 100%. Like Bram said at the beginning. Yes, 100%. That's why there can be no excuses. for this manager. Everything is on him now. My focus is solely on him. My focus is not on players or anything because Andrea Berta has given him everything he needs. The Kronkers have backed him. He can't use the excuse of red cards, injuries because I mean, when have we ever said this? I don't know if you guys saw a graphic last week, no? There was a graphic where Gabriel Jesus is standing on the side of the pitch, Noni Madueke, the donkey, and there was another one, Mosquera. I think no, it wasn't Mosquera. I don't know. I stand under correction. And then they showed our bench, the lineup of depth that we've got. For me, minimum for him, he should at least bring in one cup competition. For me, at least minimum. And even then, I don't think that's enough for him to stay. But where do you guys stand on it? Let me hear your thoughts before I go on a tangent.
Do you see the? Okay, Ahmed, you go first.
I think the problem is gonna be is that we've seen the lineups you push up. That is my only fear. Like I'm gonna say it once again. The squad is there. Maybe we can question on the way they play, maybe with a little bit more intensity that's needed. Obviously, Eze is now there to bring that, and I still feel like there should be more chances created. But nevertheless, the squad is there. But I mean, how do you go now I understand where Davies coming from, where you can't feel confident because why? You don't know what your manager is going to put up. You know the squad that you have. You know the team that you want. But this guy is gonna play 5 defensive midfielders, and then you're gonna have 0 chances created with the Gyökeres on the field, and now suddenly Gyökeres looks bad, and then what? So I understand where he comes from, but I still feel that Arsenal have enough to. They're gonna drop it. They're gonna drop it for sure. They're not gonna stay there. There's no way Arsenal keeps it from here till end of the season. They're gonna drop it, but they should have enough.
Oh, Saka! What a fucking goal! Oh, Saka!
1-0.
3-0, Bukayo! Oh shit!
3-0.
Damn, Chicken. Sorry.
No,
oh
no.
my lord.
Watching. I'm gonna only start watching when the show ends.
Oh
Listen,
my lord.
on Arteta, right? I'm gonna jump to his defense a little bit here. The brand of football that Arsenal plays and the style of football that he plays, right? With the players that he's got there right now, Arsenal shouldn't be drawing any football games. They shouldn't. They shouldn't actually be losing any games from now till the end of the season. Their squad is far superior to everybody else, and I'll tell you what makes his squad superior. And it's just look at the difference. And I don't know why he never saw this. So that's where people have every right to criticize him. Is the fact that look at you have a striker in Gyökeres. I think the same would have been even if they had Isak up front, whether it wasn't Gyökeres, whether it was Isak. Whether it was Sesko, the fact that you have a striker, an out-and-out striker, makes a world of difference to Arsenal as a team. Right?
It does.
Now you look at the depth in each position. Maybe, again, it's on him where the Martinellis and the Odegaards have got to kick up the backside because I've got a replacement sitting on the bench. There was no one competing with him. And that was my argument with Ty that night, is that he forever was selling people. If he sold 4 players, he'd only bring 4 players in. He wouldn't add 4 players to the players that was already there to create the depth in the squad. He was basically just replacing heads that were leaving.
You asked for that one. You asked for that one.
What? I don't understand what he's saying, but anyway. But I think with the players that have added to the Arsenal team this season, they have really brought out, a bit more out of Martinelli. Martinelli look very threatening every time he comes on. And Trossard has been consistent. Trossard used to be, if he came on as a sub, you knew he would score. But when he started, we started in 2 games in the row. The one game wouldn't be the same as the other game. One would be very good and one would be...
the first conversation now, like the same thing with Salah. And remember what we said about Martinelli? How he was thinking of the place. And now the conversation is changing where we can say, oh no, Martinelli is actually looking quite good.
Yeah, but it's because he's got competition.
I can't remember.
It's not competition, that's the difference. There's
I
no way
can't
the king
remember
of the
Martinelli
king is coming out.
was supposed to go.
Yeah.
David.
Yeah,
We
I
all
was
sat
one of
here.
them. I was on that bandwagon
You
as
were
well.
one of
But
them.
again,
We sat here.
Noni Madueke gave him the kick up the backside again, like Bram is alluding to. But
Yeah.
carry on.
Look,
And then
fair
Noni,
enough. I
then
think
Noni went
Noni
and played
took
on the
all
other
way
side, on
there.
the right hand side, right? I think for Odegaard, it's not just that is a threat to his position, but Nwaneri is also a threat to his position as well. So he's got to perform. I think that what protects him is the captaincy armband. You know, when he comes back, at some point he's going to take his place in the team as captain. And then I think with not saying that Zubamendi was signed to compete with Rice, but I mean, for Declan Rice, it's also a case of, listen, if you're not going to pull your weight, the 6 role is out, Zubamendi's there. If you're going to go to the 8 role, test somebody else. And if you're going to want to play behind the striker, that's already full there. So you got to pull your weight wherever we put you. You know, you got to live up to your price tag.
Exactly.
Because there were times also last year, overall he had a good season for Arsenal, but there was times where he was just performing under the radar because Declan Rice there was no competition for him. I don't think you could ever question the commitment of the two at the back, Saliba and Gabriel. So I think all around the players that were brought into Arsenal was to revitalize the hunger within the players that is there. For them to make sure that they are delivering week in, week out, and that's what makes Arsenal dangerous. Only thing that I think for you would be that Gyökeres doesn't pick up injury, because then is again who goes there? That's when they start.
That's the focus
I'll
of
honestly
the
play
transfer
Martinelli
market
there.
in
I'll play
January.
Martinelli there.
Do you think
I'll
you
play
can get
Martin-
another striker in January? for a
No, he
backup?
loves Kai too much. He loves the donkey too much.
I have a question though. How do you feel Max Dowman should be managed, being that young, and we know the skill and quality that he has as a youngster? How do you feel you manage that? Because you also don't want him to not give him games, but you also want to make sure that when you give him games, you give him at the best platform that he can then perform. So how do you think Arteta should manage that? Do you want to see more of him, or do you want him to see play at the right time?
Carabao Cup and FA Cup. That's the only time I want to see him. It's the only time he's young. I don't want to.
So you don't,
Yeah.
you don't want to risk it. Push comes to shove, Dowman needs to come on.
No.
Like a
I didn't
Ngoma
even agree with
situation.
Dauman. I didn't agree with Dauman coming on at Anfield even. I didn't agree with that.
I also
Um,
think that game was too big for him, eh?
Yeah, game was too big. I mean, remember we come from a time where
But
Jack
why
Wilson
would you say the game is too big for him? I mean, I think that is an English football mentality that keeps English football back.
Okay, so what were you doing when you were 15 years old?
Hang on, we must, none of us here are pro footballers, so you can't direct that person any of us.
No, but I'm asking, what were you doing when you were 15 years old?
I was
Compared
playing
to now.
first team cricket at 15 years old. You understand? But I get, but the point I want to make is, if Lamine was at Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, Chelsea,
He don't get that same opportunity. Guaranteed.
exactly, doesn't get
He
the
doesn't.
opportunity, right?
He doesn't.
Arsenal have a real gem. He is a right wing by nature, right, Evie? Max Dowman.
He can play all across the
But by nature, he is right
By
wing.
nature, he's
But
mostly
when he
on the
plays,
right.
when he plays with the under-21s, he plays as a cam. He plays as an attacking mid, though.
Attacking
Like I
mid.
say,
But that's
That's what I'm
for them.
saying. He can play.
But the point that I want to make is, it's not a case of Saka, Starboy, starting to also get the left back. Do you know what I'm saying? It's a case of Dowman, right midfielder, 15 years old, Anfield, years opportunity. Why hold him back? Why say, oh, the game is too big for him, but this, but that, but this. Michael Owen would never have been the. But Michael Owen, Owen.
No, but Michael, you're comparing Michael Owen, a Ballon d'Or winner, bro.
No, but he wasn't a Ballon d'Or winner at 17, Dave. He won the Ballon d'Or how many years later? If he didn't get that opportunity at 16 years old, making his Liverpool debut, same as Wayne Rooney. If Arsenal are not going to give him the opportunity, look at how many youngsters Arsenal have lost. Where youngsters felt, it's time to move on because they're not given the opportunity, or talented players.
I hear what you say.
The boy is a bit more special than most other players, kids at Arsenal, right?
So, are you
I
So
won't
Crumble?
give you that.
no,
I
I'm
Level
not
won't
saying.
give you that.
Listen.
Wait, okay, land
Yeah,
first. Would
I'm
you
not
put him
saying
above?
he
Would
should.
you put him above Ethan Waneri? Would you put him
No,
above Ethan
that's what I
Waneri?
was going to say now. No, I'm not saying he must compete with Saka for that starting birthplace, but he needs to, every little cameo role that he can get right now needs to be given to him. If you 3-0 up in a league game, um,
Yeah,
bring him
that's
on.
fine. No,
Same
I
as
agree.
when Ethan Waneri is good enough to compete with Odegaard for the 10th position, right? So Dalman shouldn't be competing with Waneri for a subs place. He should be the kid that Saka's gonna come off. We 3-0 up. We at home. 10 minutes left. You're gonna go on.
I don't see
And
why
he's
not.
and he needs to be able to wait. You know what? We're playing somebody at home here. They're expecting Saka to play. They're expecting Ethan. Start, catch him off guard. Let's start
I just
and
wanna, I just
have
wanna.
the because listen, Barca had faith in Lamin.
Yeah, but it's a
Barca had
different
faith
Yeah,
in
but
league.
this
bring
is La
Barca,
Liga.
but you never knew.
A different league.
But
You think
Ahmed,
you think Amin will be right to the league?
you never knew he was going to turn out to be who he was. You never knew
get
But
that.
Messi
I
was
know for a
going to
fact my
turn out.
team plays kids all the time.
Exactly. Why? Because if I play this kid and after 3 games he's not showing it, I've got another kid lined up to
Yeah,
come
but you
in.
can't
I've got
compare.
another
You
kid.
can't compare
No,
Barcelona
what I'm
to
saying is,
Arsenal.
but this is what's
The
kept
philosophy
English
is
football.
different.
But this is what kept English football behind. Because they would rather you must be a standout from 16 years old before I'm going to give you a chance. Nicky
Okay,
Butt
but I
had
get
more
where
chance.
you coming
Listen,
from. You
but
won't
look
even
here.
know if he's a
If
standout
you take
because your
United's
English
class
football
of
don't give them
92,
that
Ahmed,
chance.
who was the one that made their debut before everybody else in every competition?
But
It's Nicky Butt.
but
He never rose to the fame of everybody else that was there with him. You're never going to know if you never knew Messi was going to turn out to be him.
But now look who he was competing with, Gav, at the time as well. Look at those midfielders in England also. That was your golden generation, right?
Yeah, but we're not saying we're not talking about England, the England team. We're talking about Man United at the time. When he came through, he was picked out of the bunch and said, we're making your Champions League debut before he even played the league game. Champions League debut. Right? So what I'm saying is if
you got Keane and Scholes there.
And Paul Ince was there at the time. No, but
Exactly.
Scholes didn't play.
Paul Ince
Scholes
was
didn't
also
play. He was the first one out of them to make his debut. Was Nicky Butt. Scholes didn't even play yet. Scholes came afterwards. They all bypassed him, right?
Exactly.
But he was never sold because he had quality. But you wouldn't know if they didn't give him a chance. So that's what I'm saying with Max Dowman is he's such a gem that Arsenal mustn't be afraid to say, do you know what? We're not going to play you out and out every single league game. No. But we are going to gradually grow you in.
Yeah.
And every day the rubber, a Champions League, we're already through to the next round. Start.
Then no, but 100%. That's where
a Carabao Cup at home, and your next game is Grimsby Town.
Yeah.
Start.
Like against Brighton, I expect to see Max against Brighton.
But you know what's going to happen? He's going to be a sub.
I agree.
He's going to be a sub. Only because, Davey, had you won the league last year, and a trophy the previous year, there's no pressure on Arteta. I think Arteta's not going to risk not progressing in the Carabao Cup and sort of flirting with the idea of, okay, let's start Max. You'll probably tend to, okay, I'm going to go with Ethan. Max will get 10 minutes. Let me secure the game first. The pressure is a little bit different here because he's under pressure to win a trophy.
That's what I said. You cannot make the comparison because Barcelona has that philosophy. If you're a 16-year-old kid and you play good, you're going to play the whole season for as long as you have to. We don't care what you play, what game it is, Champions League, La Liga. We play that. It's a different philosophy. You cannot do that in the Premier League, no matter how good you are. Like the 1 or 2 excluded, but you cannot do that. As good as the ceiling is for Max Diamond, I can guarantee you, if this was La Liga and he came out of the academy, different story. And let's say Lamine wasn't there and he was in Lamine's shoes, you play every game.
He'll be playing.
Why is there still a debate around should he, shouldn't he? Nah, he's young, whatever. He's as a star.
You know, one thing about watching Barcelona, you learn age doesn't matter if your maturity shows on the pitch.
Yeah, no, I'm
Because
with that. If
look
you're
at the
good enough, you're old enough. I'm with that as
Look at the
well.
maturity. As
100%.
egotistic as Lamine is, look at the maturity on the pitch. Thierry Henry stressed that so many times for an 18, 17-year-old kid to go in the middle of a high pressure game and go like this. Calm, everybody.
Yeah. No,
For 17 years
I'm
old.
with
To
it.
show
Look,
the maturity on the pitch if you can.
I hear what Gav is saying. For me, I just wrap him up in cotton wool and save your games as it goes on. But look, we're coming to the end of the show. Man of the week, Ahmad. Or man of the past week, I should say. Around all leagues,
Harry Kane.
All leagues, pick.
Harry Kane.
Without a shadow of a doubt.
Without a shadow of scary guy. Harry Kane, without a shadow, he's knocking goals for fun, he's scoring for fun. I will never ever I hate to say it, but Mbappe is good. He comes a close second. But for me, Harry Kane was scared without. Remember, there was a time when he was at Spurs and he was the only player to like come close to breaking the
Like
record
the one
of
thing
like Messi.
Aslam and Brahim agreed on tonight. Carry on, Ahmad.
I don't know if it's because it's a Spurs player or what. I don't know.
Nah, Kane.
But
Kane.
Nah,
but,
Kane is
but there was
outstanding.
a year where I think he scored like
Outstanding.
50 or 50 odd goals that season, and it was scary. So now without the shadow of a doubt, it's Harry Kane, star player of the week.
I love him there. Gav, yours?
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Ahmed. His interview the other day, he's even gone on a massive eating plan to extend his football career by at least another 2 seasons. It's going to be interesting. David, I have a funny feeling if you offer the money, you'll sign for Arsenal. I have a funny
Nah,
feeling.
you already said he plans to stay at Bayern. I was looking at that.
Yeah,
And I don't think
he
you should
plans
leave.
to. He plans.
I don't
He
think
plans.
you
He plans to stay. But remember, we have first option when his
Yeah,
contract
I think
runs
he'll
out.
come back to
Spurs
you.
have.
I think you'll
And
come
that's
back to
the
you.
I don't think he
that's
should.
the one.
If he
That's
wants to
the one
destroy his
thing.
career, he must come back to Premier. If he wants
Yeah,
to
but
destroy his
remember,
career.
Ahmed, he needs 40 goals to be the all-time highest goal scorer in the
Yeah.
Premier League. 41 goals.
Maybe in his last year, yeah, he can still do it. Last 2 years, he can score
Yeah,
20
we've
years.
seen
Nah,
that one down.
he's in that.
I
type
like
of-
I like Kane there. I personally like Kane at Bayern.
He's a
I don't think he's going to win the. I don't think he's going to win the Champions League with him.
But he'll be there and about. I love Kane now.
I
Do you
guarantee
reckon?
you-
Do
I
you
guarantee
reckon
you
Bayern will be
also-
there and thereabouts?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so.
They-
I think
only-
the big difference for them is a player that I like a lot, and remember in the pod I said that Steve Parrish, if I'm Oliver Glasner, I will stab him with a sword through his neck when he broke up Olise,
Holy
Yeah,
Matete,
my word.
Mateta, Eze Mateta, Olise, Anderson at the back, Sa. I was like, Oliver Glasner was onto something big there. And Steve Parrish broke up the team because I think Olise complemented them so well at Palace, and that boy's growing, man, as a player.
He's brilliant.
You know,
but
that's what you want to see with players
France,
like
he's
that.
the one. He's the one I watch actually. Like by France, I watch him.
Remember, you've got him on the left, Diaz on the right. And
Yes,
Kane in the
final
middle.
there, no?
Yeah. That could probably be the deciding factor why, and I get what you're saying, David, that they will be thereabouts. When you have that kind of attacking force, you must at least make worst case scenario semi-finals.
Yeah.
Oh, no,
Again, remember they lost last in the semi to Inter. Was it Inter?
Yeah,
They lost
they
to
lost.
Inter, right?
No, we played Inter in the semi.
No,
They lost to PSG.
Quarterfinal. We played Madrid that night. They lost in the quarters to Inter.
They lost in the quarters.
Oh, they lost in the quarters to Inter.
we lost
last
to Inter
minute.
in the semi.
Last minute. Yeah. Dave, you reckon you're going all the way in the Champions League this year?
Nah,
Okay, let's
I
let's
don't
leave
think so.
final.
Wait,
Let's leave
look,
final.
look,
Let's leave
look.
final. Let's say semis.
I
See
think
you
we can
in
get
the
it.
semis.
I think we
But
can get
I
it.
don't think confidently. I don't think
Not
David can say
confidently.
confidently that
Nah,
you're gonna
not
win. You can,
confidently.
you can, you
You
can.
can.
The squad stays
Why?
fit.
Okay,
The
why
player
would you
stays
say
fit, and the
not
mentality is
confidently?
there. Sure.
I'm not going to live. I'm telling you, my Champions League semi-finalist: 4,
Mm,
Bayern,
mm,
Arsenal,
mm.
Inter again, Real Madrid.
You're counting the champions out.
Yeah.
You can't have PSG out.
You're counting PSG
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
I don't think you can cut PSG out. I think PSG has made a statement already.
Mm.
Remember, they have Desiree Due out there, Kvaratskhelia out there,
They played with the youngsters against
They play
Barcelona.
with
They
youngsters
were all
against us,
young.
and we got shattered. We had no excuse.
They played with the young. Did you watch that game again of PSG and Barca?
But still doesn't mean this is
Brand, did you watch
fault. My fault.
Okay.
I don't think
Can
they'll make the
agree that you
semi-final.
can't count PSG out. You can never count
Can't
PSG
count
out.
you can't count the champions.
You know
out.
why? Because look, they had a lot of good fortune when it came to the quarters, semis. They had a lot of good fortune. They destroyed the final. They had a lot of good fortune. The same thing that in
They
the
fucked
league
us up.
last year.
Let's not get away from it. They fucked us up home and away.
I don't think they had good
What was
fortune.
the
I
score
think
in your game? What was the score in your game home and away, Debbie?
1-0 and 2-1.
but the
I don't think
dominance.
they actually. I don't think they fucked you up really.
The
I mean,
They
dominance.
fucked us up. If you watch the
Like-
game, they
like-
fucked us
like
up.
I
it's
watched the
it's
game.
criminal to sit here and say that.
No, but you
If
know what? They
the
fucked
French
Inter Milan up in the
Sevilla
final. That
and
you lost, Debbie. I think you literally lost the game. Again, had you had an out and out proper striker like a Jokeres, your team dynamic would all of a sudden be a whole lot different.
Do you know where we lost the game?
Which just makes you very different this year. Now you took them and choked them at one point, right? But again, you never had the. So
He didn't take the
I'd like to see them.
Donnarumma was on fire.
Exactly.
Oh,
There is no Donnarumma. There is no Donnarumma, and you have a Jokeres this season. You also have players coming off the bench where PSG, Arsenal now. Arsenal win.
No.
Arsenal win.
No.
Are you discounting Liverpool, Anfield on a European night?
My
There's a lot
4 is Barca, Real, Bayern, Arsenal.
I
How
was
about
in
yours?
the top 4. I'm gonna
That's
be
my
biased to
four.
put myself there. I'm definitely gonna put myself there. Now I don't see myself there, but for the kind of performance, but I obviously I know what my team can do.
No, but look, I can hear that because if you had to, sorry to break your word, if last year at this stage in the Champions League, we didn't put PSG there in either. They didn't end in the top 8. They ended in the
Exactly.
60s, the 8 or 9 to, what was it, 34 or something, or 24 or something,
Exactly.
whatever it is.
Exactly.
But anyway,
I put
your
myself
top
there.
4?
I'll put myself there. I'll put my rivals there because you have to give it to them. Madrid is on something else this season. I would have.
You're getting some
PSG
love here.
I don't want to. Shout out.
Big up. Subscribe, like, and subscribe.
I have to put PSG there, and I am going to put Bayern there. I think we're sleeping on Bayern. They just scary up front. I think we're sleeping on Bayern, and I can actually see Bayern playing. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a Bayern Real Madrid final. If I have to be unbiased and take myself out of the situation, I wouldn't
You know
be
what it
surprised if
is?
we see Real Madrid
I'll
and
agree
Bayern.
with yours, and I'll take Madrid out for us, only simply just because of our defensive structure. And that's because Madrid are conceding.
Okay, I
goals.
can
That's
vouch
the only
for
one.
that. Okay, I can vouch for that. I can vouch for that.
That's the only one. But yeah, whose man of the week didn't I get to fuck? We went off track now, and Bram needs to jump out. And
Your man of the week. Me and Bram agreed on Harry Kane.
oh, mine.
Yes.
Oh, that's
your man of
easy.
the week.
Mine, Esteban. He made my week.
It's the
Easy. Esteban.
right.
Flop of the week.
Flop of the week.
Flop of the week. Bram. Oh, no. Yeah, Bram, you go. Flop of the week. No, Ahmad, you go. Fuck. Ahmad, you go. Flop of the week.
Ronald fucking McDonald.
Rafa.
Ronald fucking McDonald.
Yo, but how many
Like
45s? How many 45s across the face didn't that Sevilla get, my bro? Nah, yeah, that. I was
Ronald
shocked.
fucking McDonald. He cannot hold the high line even if it was the last thing he needed to live on this planet. Nah, get him out. 3 seasons ago, he was my best that I
Big
want him
up.
out.
Love for the love. Love for the love. Bram, yours?
I don't know. I don't know to be honest with you. Ange Postecoglou. Nothing changes. Nothing changes with that guy. Nothing changes with him. But as who we are, mate. As who we are. They're famous words. As who we are. It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are.
He's gonna win a trophy in the second season.
Oh my lord. Yo, you stole my one now. You know, I was gonna say Andrew just to see your face. It's just who we are, mate.
It's just who we are, mate.
Kijk, then you look down, Bram, man.
Did you hear what he told that reporter? No, did you hear what he told that reporter the other day? He told the reporter, you know, your parents have been through tough times. You know, probably with you. Probably with you. Yeah, what did he say? They never gave up on you. Hey, do you know what? Now, if I think of him now, if I think of him, right? Everybody wants a daddy that can provide anything, everything, buy me everything, no? Then you get him where whole year your friends get 3 different pair of new tackies, 2 different new cell phones, no? And whole year you get nothing. Your daddy don't have. I don't have. Come end of the year, man, and he buy you a new flat screen TV. Christmas with his bonus, no? And then you flexing with your friends. My TV, I'm flexing. You see, now that's him.
You did nothing.
That's him. And next year, you know it's gonna be the same. But I'd rather have this daddy where December, my friends don't have anything to show because whole year their daddy bought them stuff. But end of the year, me and my daddy's taking us to Sun City. But whole year, I had to knock by the neighbors and ask them, my mommy was, don't you have a 50 rand for electricity? But come December, my daddy got bonus, bro. Sun City, here we come. Now that's him. So do you know what? Forest will believe in him. Everton will believe in him. Somebody that's craving a trophy will believe in him because you know why? This brother might just get me to a final and tell me this. I always win in my second year. Forest took a chance on him because you know what I mean. There was no need to fire Nuno.
Yeah,
that's what Ange's a hustler. Ange's a hustler. But he talks a good game. He talks you into.
He's not
and
wrong.
this just helped him. You know, this just aided him because we played the worst Man United team in the world ever. The Europa League rules change at the start of the season to suit us when no Champions League came down. Right? Everything works in this hustler's favor.
I have to
he's knocked out. Listen, he's knocked out of the Carabao. He's knocked out of the Carabao Cup, right? Right?
Yeah, they're out.
Watch this guy either deliver the FA Cup or the European, or you'll take them into a European or FA Cup run, and then you'll go and win it next year.
Nah, I'm with you. And is my flop as well.
We have to prove him wrong. He's won a trophy in his second season. He's done something that your club couldn't do for how many years?
But Bram never liked him from your Bram.
I like him from the get-go, but this brother is not.
Whether you like him or hate him, you can sit here today and you can say you have a European trophy because of it, man.
I don't think.
I'm just glad he's not our coach anymore.
That's something Xavi couldn't do at Barcelona when we were in Europa League.
Bram was one person. It was like,
he's one of the guys where it just happened to fall in his lap like that, and he delivered. And the fact is that he's adamant he's not going to change his football style. It's costing him badly at Forest.
Why would I? If I'm telling you I'm going to win a trophy in my second season and I haven't been wrong.
But now Ahmad, you must look at it like this. Forest
was
Ahmad defensively.
2-0 up against Swansea with 10 minutes to go. 2-0 up with Swansea, 10 minutes to go. And he lost that 3-2.
And he lost that 3-2, yeah. That was Zinchenko scored the own. No, that wasn't with Zinchenko scored the own goal, no?
Yes.
Zinchenko scored the own goal.
I have not seen that at Spurs.
Hey?
Have we not seen it at Spurs? And did he not
Man
show
was
Spurs,
down
himself?
to
yeah, but
9 men. The man was down to 9 men and he still
at
played the
Spurs,
highline.
we lost in the Carabao Cup semi-final. Remember, he took us to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup.
Have you not had a very, very poor league position?
Yo, we were almost
Did he
relegated.
not win you a trophy? Did he not
Yeah.
win you a
Yeah,
No?
but that's what I'm saying.
In
He'll
his
probably
eyes,
take
he's doing
Forest
nothing
on 2 cup runs this season, and next he'll go and win one of the 2 trophies.
Exactly. In his eyes, he's doing nothing wrong.
Yeah, nah, fair
He's
say no
consistent.
more.
Guys,
But love for the love, guys. What an awesome pod. Jesus. We always keep going. Every time I say, nah, we're going to keep it. Let it be under the hour, but we just keep getting
You
lost.
know
But
the rules we are meant to
the
be
talk,
broken.
nah, I think we
Listen,
can
next
forget
week,
about that.
are we on next week because it's United?
Oh, we definitely on this Liverpool and
No, United Liverpool.
don't worry.
United Liverpool next week.
I want to hear Benny.
Nah, no, I think I want Aslam. Aslam Obista must definitely be on. Master P will be on, but I'll speak to Benny. And then we can get it going.
We are getting November. Don't worry.
Aslam doesn't come on the pod. You'll have an excuse why he's not available to come on.
Oh shit! He might. He just might. Don't worry. But yeah, that's my final thoughts. Love for love. What
I can't
awesome
wait for him
pod.
to be on the pod. I can't wait for him to come on.
I can't wait to have the two of you on a pod. Me and Ahmad were trying, but Aslam was working tonight.
Yeah, I was telling Debbie, I get Aslam on here now. Bram's gonna be a
Yeah,
kid
man.
now.
We both wanted that, but Aslam is that's gonna be box office. That day I'm gonna buy me popcorn and just sit back.
No, definitely.
Ahmad, your final thoughts, my bro?
Bring me someone that actually has facts for me, then it's fine. He just talks long. He just talks
you invite the
long,
shit onto you.
and it's just
You are
because if whoever has an argument in the comments, and every time he brought it on the show, I proved him wrong.
Aslam, right now your invitation is set. Next pod you're on.
There you go, Aslam. You heard it. Next week, Liverpool United.
Right.
Yeah.
Final thoughts.
Your final thoughts, bro?
Final thoughts on first of all on Barca. I think we need to pick up from this. Look, in overall, I'm upset, but I'm not worried. I know what my team can do. I know Flick has the skills and the quality to get the best out of these players. I've only got, if you look at it, I've only lost twice. I've lost in the Champions League against PSG and I've lost against Sevilla. That's all. So for me, I'm still looking strong. I still have a chance to go top. And I want it to be like this. So when our Classico comes, and I know we're gonna touch our Classico, but when our Classico comes and I go top, you're not gonna stop hearing my mouth. I can say that. But in all fairness, I'm excited to see what the next 3 game weeks holds for the Premier League. Because those next 3 game weeks is gonna tell us where everyone's mindset is. It's gonna tell us how Liverpool bounce back. It's gonna tell us if Arsenal can show that they are fighting. It's gonna tell us if City can squeeze in. Can tell us if Spurs can knock off. There's so much to say. So the next 3
That's
game
where I'll
weeks,
judge it as well. We got to Fulham. We got to Fulham away next, so that's where I'll judge it.
Oh no, definitely. Graham?
We have Palace also in there. Bram, go ahead.
Look, for me, like I said, we've also only lost. We lost 1 game this whole season in all competitions. But again, it's I'm not getting carried away where we are. It's a big improvement from last year. And like I said, our true test starts as of the 29th of October. Newcastle, 1st of November, Chelsea, United, Arsenal, Newcastle, Fulham, and then Liverpool. Where we are after those games will determine, where we are fighting. Like you said, Ahmed, we've got a squad that should be competing for at minimum 4th place in the Premier League, competing whether we end up there or not. But you the players that we've got and the caliber of players that we've got at the moment should be there. I'm looking forward to the derby, Devi. Looking very, very forward to the derby. 23rd of November. It's at your place, 6:30.
Yeah. I'm not, but anyway, speak for yourself.
Cool. Gentlemen,
Yeah.
we see each other next week. What is it? Next week,
See each
Wednesday or
other
Thursday?
Thursday. I think Thursday
Next
is the
Thursday.
best Thursday because that's when the internationals are done, and then that's the weekend before the games. Yeah.
Yeah.
People, love for the love in the comments. As always, you guys make the show, and big up to my two panelists. It's DVD, it's Ahmad, it's Bram, the governor, and we are out of here. Bless.